to determine how much to sell your book for. So your book price is determined by a couple of different things. The first and most important thing is how much the printer is charging you to create it. So whether you're doing a physical book or an ebook, the distributors and the printers are going to tell you how much it's going to cost you out of pocket. And this is the same for publishers or for authors who are doing this indie. They will tell you how much it costs to produce that product. So if you're doing a physical book, you're paying for the cover and the paper and gluing it together and shipping it out. All of those things that other people have their hands on to physically do to create your book, that gets covered in that cost. Then on top of that, you can say how much you're going to sell it for, and you get to set the rate. This is the same for digital things like ebooks. There's a distribution rate. So it charges a certain number of cents to send it out. Depending on how you're doing it. You then have the opportunity to choose 70% royalties or 30% royalties. And depending on how you price your book, there is a structure to it. So if your ebook is under $1.99, you are only allowed to get 30% of that. You cannot do the 70% because they have that distribution charge involved with it, and you wouldn't be making anything. And they wouldn't be making anything. So you can only do 30%. If it's over $1.99, then you can choose 30% royalty or a 70% royalty on that one. And you again get to choose your numbers. And when it comes to the printers, they will say, okay, here's what it's going to cost you. Here's what you can do for that. You then also have the ability to determine how much of a discount you're going to offer places like different bookstores. So if you want your books sold at like Barnes & Noble and places like that, you have to give them a discount. A pretty steep one too. Typically it starts out at 55% or higher. Like it's a very big discount, and you could determine all these things. They have little calculators built into the websites where you're uploading all these files and making all the determinations, and it will tell you how much you profit. So as you're typing in the numbers, and you have to keep in mind, we do specific numbers. So it's not like $3.82. That's not a thing. It's going to be like $4.99. It usually ends in a 99 number. So instead of being $5, it would be $4.99. Whatever, you get the idea. That's just basic, how we sell things. And so you decide what number it's going to be. And then there's a little box where it will calculate how much you then make. So you can determine you make 30 cents. You are going to make 60 cents. You are going to make $1. You are going to make $3. You're going to make $5. And depending on the size of your book, it's going to cost more to create it, which means you're going to have to then charge more to make more profit. And there's just a lot of things that go into it. So once you are uploading all those files, it's going to have that information there, and you get to determine what it is. But then you also have to look at the market. What are people typically charging for books in your genre and books of your size? So you don't want to take a teeny tiny little book and charge a ton of money for it. If you are charging like $20 for a novella, a tiny short story, people aren't going to buy that. If you're charging $20 for a normal size novel because you're not making much profit on it, it is what it is. So at that point, you have to look into your industry, into your genre, into your area, and make sure you are comparable to the other things. And then you have to feel comfortable with how much money you are profiting when it comes to how much you're getting back in those royalties. So do you feel comfortable only making pennies on that? Or do you feel comfortable making $1 on that? Do you feel comfortable making $2? Typically, we see the profit levels about $1 to $3 per book, depending on who you are and what you've written and how you've done it and how comfortable you feel with charging people things. But some of the higher priced people or the more popular people get to charge more, and people don't bat an eyelash at it. So do a lot of research on this one and then do what you feel comfortable with. Knowing your price point that you put it at will impact how many sales that you are making. And sometimes it's just trial and error, and you have to move it and adjust it. Once you set a price for a book, you can change it. It's not set in stone. So if you find it's not working for you, you can adjust things. And then as the printers adjust things, because over the years, you're going to find that they start upping their price. And so at some point, they're going to start sending out emails saying, hey, your book is priced too low. You're no longer profiting because we're charging you more to create it now because the price of paper or whatever has now gone up. So you have to monitor it to see what's changing, and then they will, if they're doing a significant change, let you know as well so that you can make that determination and change your profit inside of what you are creating in your book. So just play with it, see what works best for you.